But if you could upgrade, go ahead and upgrade from this. Now what I did was, this didn't even last too long for me, by the way. I could not just use this anymore. It was just a hassle. So I think I probably used this for like 2 to 3 weeks, and then I was like, I just can't. That was inefficient. It was just too much time, and I don't know why anybody would use this in their business when they are trying to grow. Don't just stay with this. Hola mi gente bella y bienvenidos a mi canal. My name is Sandra if this is your first time here, and welcome to my channel. In this channel I'll be speaking and you'll be learning about everything luxury and high-end candle making business tips. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. So, as you can tell by the title of this video will be about candle making equipment list for your luxury candle making business. So, I'm going to be explaining to you all everything that I use and some of the stuff that I used to use when I started off making candles, and how I progressed to something that was a little bit much more efficient and something that I could use on the long run that helped me do my candles a lot quicker and a lot better, so that I wouldn't have to take too much time making candles. So let's get into all the equipment list that I use in order for you to know how to be efficient in your candle making business. Okay, so I had to zoom you guys out so you guys could see everything. I was trying to put it on top of the table, but the table is too small, so I had to I apologize if you guys can't see exactly what I'm doing, but I'll have a close-up of everything that I have on here, and I'll link it here somewhere or over here so you guys can see it. Well, the first thing that I have in front of me is my cooktop or stovetop. We'll call it a cooktop. The cooktop, I had to obtain it because I have my workshop in my garage. And the reason why we bought this house when we first bought it back in February, because I knew I was going to start my business, and this house already had a sink and like a kitchenette area in the garage. So that was like my primary reason why I bought this house, aside from it being exactly what I was looking for. But it also had that added bonus in the garage, and it's like a finished garage. So that's why I had this house, and then I didn't have to do anything other than get a stove top or a cooktop and start making candles. I also have my studio or my office area, which is this right here, attached to the garage. So all I have to do is just walk from here to the garage, which is my area where I do everything. My candle making and everything that I do with my business is in there, and then office setting will be in here. Another thing that I had to purchase was, well, I didn't really have to purchase it because I already had it, because I was living in New Orleans back last year, no, in 2018, 2019, and also 2016, 2017, so 2016 to 2018, I was in New Orleans on deployment, and I had to purchase a lot of cookware and stuff like that. So I didn't have to purchase it, so I already had it, and since I already had a house here in Miami, I didn't want to take all that stuff from here to up there, so I just purchased new ones. And I ended up using my my cookware from New Orleans here in Florida for my business, and it kind of worked out that I had extra stuff, so I ended up using that, and I have two that I use. I use this one because this one contains the water more, and it's way better for the bigger pitcher. So I put it in here with water, and then it boils down. Now for the smaller pitcher, I can't really use this because it's too small in here, and then I'll get burned if I use it in here. So that's why I got the bigger or flatter cookware, and I put it in here, and it works a lot better. Now that's how I used to use my pitchers and my cooktop with my two pots. But, I still use this if I want to make small batch of candles, but if I want to make a larger batch, I use my Presto pot, and the Presto pot that I have is right over here. So I'm gonna move all of this in front of me so we could put more stuff up here so I could show you everything that I have. But I'm going to just show you my Presto pot so that you could see how I progressed from the cooktop to my Presto pot. So hold on a minute. So now I have my Presto pot. I don't have anything in it. I was using it earlier, so I cleaned it out. So I have my Presto pot right here. And this Presto pot, I think is like the small one, or maybe the medium-sized one, because I know there was a bigger one. I didn't get the bigger one. And this one is so much better to just put all your wax in here and then just drain it out. And the spout, it comes with this spout with this blue handle here. The spout is very, very good. I don't have any issues with the spout. It does not leak when you turn it off. It does not leak when you're melting your wax. So this is a very good Presto pot that I purchased, and I purchased this on Amazon and from So Light Candles, and I had this for a while, and actually I was a little bit hesitant in using it because I was so used to using the cooktop with the double boiler method that I was just so used to using it, and every time I would want to use it, I just forget. But this time around, because I was making a large batch of candles, and this, a game changer. Like, it really, really helps out. If you guys could invest in one of these, I highly, highly, highly suggest it, especially from So Light Candles. And this was very simple to put together. The handles were the only thing that I had to put on here, and I believe the feet, so these little feet, I had to put on there, and then everything else was already here. Now the only thing that I don't like about this Presto pot is the fact that the connector is so short, and then it kind of doesn't attach, it's not a very tight attachment to it from the plug to the actual connector. It's very loose. It has like a magnet, some type of magnet technology that it just does this, and that's it. So if you move it around too much, it'll just disconnect from the connector from the plug. So that's my only downside from it. So this will be the connector with the two metal prongs here, but these are the metal prongs that connect to the connector. And this will be the plug itself. So, and then this will be where you'll find right here these two metal lines is the magnet that connects to this. So it'll be like a connection like that. So it's very, I don't want to say it's loose, but it's not a very tight grip. So if you move this or something happens, or maybe this moves, it comes out like super fast. So that's the only drawback in the Presto pot. And that the plug is pretty short. Like my arm reaches like here, and then this is right here. So yeah, this is pretty short. And what I do is, since the wall plug is really close to the kitchen countertop in my workshop, I just, you know, plug it in right there. But if I want to move it somewhere, I won't be able to. I'll have to get an extension cord, and the extension cord, I don't really like using extension cords, but I don't have any other choice if I want to move the actual Presto pot from one side of the countertop to the next. So yeah, that's two of the drawbacks for the Presto pot, is just that this is not really tight. Like it moves easily, and then the plug is very short. So that's my only negative about it, but everything else is awesome. It cleans very easily, it drains very easily, it does not leak when you turn it on, but you do have to be careful when you turn it on, because it's going to be a lot of wax that is melted. So to be very, very careful when you are opening the spout to release the wax, because everything just wants to come out at once. So with that being said, be very, very careful when you use it. This is very hot to the touch because it is made out of metal. So yes, be very, very careful, but this is a very, very good equipment to have when you are making candles. If you are starting off, again, start off with the cooktop, the double boiler method. I got that one from overstock.com, and it was about like $80, I believe, or maybe $90, and it works out very, very good because it has two burners, so you could use two pitchers at the same time to make candles, using the double boiler method with the cooktop. Okay, so now the next thing that I want to show you guys is always sanitize your area. So before you even start making your candles, anything, you want to clean your area to make sure that everything is clear, clean, and sanitized. I got this from Publix, and it's just a regular disinfectant. If you don't have the spray, you could always use the Clorox wipes, and I got this from Walmart. And also, again, to just disinfect the area, to clean it out, because you don't want to work in a messy area. You don't want to work in a dirty area either, especially if you're going to be putting your candles on there, especially if you're going to be putting your vessels on there. You don't want to have your vessels all contaminated and dirty, so might as well just clean your area up. Now, right after you do that, if you do not want your countertops or your table or whatever the surface that you're using to make your candles get dirty, or I know you're going to be spilling, because I spill a lot when I make candles, so it is a good idea to have brown paper. And this brown paper, I got it from Home Depot, and it's very thick, and you could just cover your surface with one of these, and it comes in a roll, and it is very convenient to keep your surfaces clean. And all you have to do when you're finished is pick it up and throw it away. So that is a very good tool to have when you are making your candles. Now the next thing that I'm going to show you is gloves. I use gloves because I have long nails and I don't want wax to get underneath my nails, and I don't want, you know, anything nasty to get underneath them, or me transferring whatever I got in my hands onto the candles. So I just wear gloves when I'm making candles. And so I mean, it's a good way to also keep your work area sanitized and clean and everything. So I mean, you could use it. I mean, you don't have to use it, but I use it because, like I said earlier, it's nice to have my manicure last longer. So that's why I use the gloves. And my next thing that you should also have while you're going to be making candles is towels. Well, this one is napkins, tissue, what have you. You could have this one. I got this from Walmart in the automobile section or auto care section, and these are shop towels, and these are very thick, and I find these a lot better to pick up you know, excess wax, or if I spilled fragrance oil or essential oil, this is a lot nice to pick up your, you know, your spillage. You could also use napkins or tissue or whatever it is that you have available at the time, but this is very good, and I got this again from Walmart. You could find this at any outer parts store that sells, you know, car parts or what have you, and this will be very efficient and very good to have when you're making candles. Now the next thing that you should have while you're making candles is isopropyl alcohol, and these will be very good when you are cleaning the inside of your candles, because well, not the candles itself, but before you make the candles, the actual vessels, so that your wick could stick very well to a nice dry area, instead of you trying to wick your vessels and then it not sticking because the inside of your vessel is either dusty or it has residue, oily residue in there, and you don't want that. So before you even make anything or any candles, you should always wipe it down with alcohol. And you could also use the same shop towels or napkins or tissue paper that you have, that you going to be using to clean up your area. You could use the same one to just dab a little bit of alcohol and clean your container. So that's what I use when I use my candle jars, because right now I didn't clean this one and I could see a lot of particles from, you know, from the air that just falls inside of the container, and it's very good to just clean that off before you even start making candles and before you even start to put the wick inside. Now I think that is it for like cleaning supplies and just beginning states of just before you even start to do candles. Now the next thing is thermometers. Now I started off with this one, and this one is the one that came with the kit, and I got the kit from Pro Candle Supply, and this one is it's called a candy thermometer. And although this was efficient at the time, it is very inefficient while actually trying to grow from, you know, making candles. I don't see this being efficient at all. I mean, it has the numbers here. It goes from 100 Fahrenheit all the way to 400, and or you could go do the Celsius, which goes from 50 all the way to 200 Celsius. But I don't like this. It is too bulky, and I felt as if I had to always clean this every single time that I was making candles, because obviously, and I didn't clean this from the last time I used it. I don't even know when the last time I used this, to be honest. And I really thought this was just too clunky and I don't like it. And to me, in a way, it kind of got the temperature of the picture as well as the temperature of whatever was inside, because this is on the side of the container and this was too big to fit my little picture. So I definitely don't like this. But if this is all you have, then it is a good tool to have. Then from here, I upgraded to this different thermometer, and this thermometer is a meat thermometer, and it was good, but it takes a while. Like this one, it takes a while to go up to the actual desired temperature. So you know, you have to sit there and babysit it for a while before it goes all the way up there, and you got to make sure that it stops and it's not, you know, keep going up until the number that you don't want, the temperature that you don't want it to, because then you have to remove it from the double boiler and then make sure that it's back on the actual temperature. And if it's too cold, that you have to put it back in the double boiler method and then take it out. It was just a hassle. So this right here, like I said again, it is good when you're starting out, to make sure that you understand the whole concept of making candles. But if you could upgrade, go ahead and upgrade from this. Now what I did was, this didn't even last too long for me, by the way. I could not just use this anymore. It was just a hassle. So I think I probably used this for like 2 to 3 weeks, and then I was like, I just can't. That was inefficient. It was just too much time, and I don't know why anybody would use this in their business when they are trying to grow. Don't just stay with this. This is a good tool for a startup, for testing, for a kit, to make sure that you know what you like and you like making candles. And once you get the gist of it, throw it away. And you don't need that. It's inefficient. It's useless. So, and I upgraded to a digital thermometer. This is the best thing since sliced bread. It is amazing. I love it. It is a laser radiated temperature. Don't point this at people, because it does have radiation in there. All you have to do is just, that's it. Leave it there for like a 0.5 seconds and take it out, and then you'll have the reading of whatever the temperature is in your container, which is your wax. And then it has the time. The temperature at the top will be in Fahrenheit, and the bottom also as Fahrenheit. You could change it if you want to, but I just left mine in Fahrenheit because that's the ones I use. And if you want to level up your candle making game, purchase one of these. I got this one from Home Depot, and this is the Ryobi brand. Well, they have these in different styles and different brands and different prices, but this one is the one that I purchased, and I purchased this, oh wow, last year sometime, I don't remember, but I purchased this a while ago. So like I said earlier, this is a very good tool to have because it reads your temperatures fast. You don't have to sit there and wait for it like this one or the other one. Yeah, I don't recommend these if you are already making candles and you're a seasoned candle maker. I'm pretty sure if you're not using this anymore, you upgraded to this. So this is a very good tool in my opinion. I don't know, some people might say that this is good. I don't know why, because you have to sit there and wait until the numbers until the temperature, until the dial goes all the way to whatever desired temperature you want your wax to be at. Versus this one, you just point it and you see, and you're like, oh, okay, this is the temperature that I needed. Oh no, I needed a little bit more. And then, you know, you leave it there, and if once it's done, it's done. So this one, game changer, you need it. You need it. Another thing that I have, and I have multiple of these, this one I use to mix fragrance oil, and this is the only one I use for fragrance oil. I don't mix the wax pitcher with my fragrance oil pitcher because I don't want to keep wiping down the fragrance oil from the wax, and then you have wax residue inside of this. I don't want to contaminate my fragrances with wax, so that's why I only have a dedicated pitcher, and it has measurements for references on the sides. So it has cups, it has ounces, it goes in liters and milliliters. So if you want to use the side for references, you could do that, but I like to use my scale, and that's what I use for my scale. Now, if I make a lot of wax and I can't pour it too much easily into the glass jars, I have this pitcher, and I use this pitcher to pour into every jar, and this is very precise, and it kind of eliminates a lot of the spillage that I do when I make candles, because I like, well, I don't like, but I do spill a lot. So yeah, so I use this one to pour into every candle once after I finish making melting the wax and mixing in the fragrance oil. I'll put it in here, and in each individual candle container, I'll use this one to pour it in. And the spout is very long, which makes it a lot easier to pour in because of the long spout. So it eliminates air bubbles. It eliminates you going too fast when you're pouring, because you're going to have to go slow in order for you to go from the pitcher all the way to the spout. So I recommend this style of pitcher to make to pour into your jars for the actual candles. So this one I got from, where did I get this from? Oh, from Amazon, and I believe it came like 5 in a pack, and maybe $15. I can't remember. I bought this a while ago. So this one is very good for pouring out into each individual vessel. Now, this is also very good to pour into molds. If you are making wax starts, then this will be very good to pour into molds. So I suggest this also for pouring into molds. And then these I use if I'm not making too much candles. I could use this small pitcher, or I'll use the bigger pitcher if I'm making a lot of candles. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter. You could use either or if you want. And if you are making wax tarts, I suggest using this one because this thing is very small. And then if you are going to be pouring, pour it into here, and then pour all individual molds. And this is a very good tool, and it is a lot easier to maneuver and to hold, so you won't spill a lot of stuff while you're making your candles. Now, the next situation that I have in front of me is my Wick tabs, and these Wick stickers, I think it's Wick stickers. These Wick stickers I got from the Flaming Candle, and this is a roll of 1,000 Wick stickers, and so far it's been working great for me, so I can't complain about that. And I mean, it does what it does. it's a wick sticker. So if it doesn't stick, it's not a wick sticker. So yeah, get one of these as well. This would make your job a lot easier if you do have one of these. Now I also have, okay, so now I also have a glue gun, and this is a high heat glue gun. I have a high heat, you can't really see it from here, but I have a high heat glue stick inside of here, and this glue gun is good, but you have to make sure that you turn it on ahead of time, because if you don't turn it on ahead of time, you'll have to be waiting there until it gets warm enough to to put it on the wicks. So this, I use this if I'm making testing, if I'm testing either fragrances or my wax or my candle jars. If I'm doing any type of testing and I'm going to be wicking my vessels, I will use this because it's a lot easier to remove, and if I want to reuse the actual vessels. These are a little bit harder to remove fast, so if you want to test out your vessels or anything that you are testing at the time, use the heat gun, but make sure that you are heating it ahead of time, because this does take a little bit of time before you even use it, because it has to get warm enough or hot enough to melt the glue so you could use it. And it's a little bit of mess, because if you don't use enough glue, it won't stick, it will just come right off. So it is a little bit messy when you are using a glue gun, but it is also a good tool. The good thing about this is that you don't waste as much product, because this is all individual wick stickers, and you know that you only have 1,000. But when you do use glue gun, you could use this for a very long time for a lot of candles, and you won't run out as fast as if you're using this. And if you mess up with the glue stick, not the glue stick, if you mess up with the wick stickers, then you can't really re-stick it. You'll have to just throw that out. So with the glue stick or the glue gun, if you do make a mistake, you could always wait until it gets hard and peel it off and just throw it away. But you can't do that with this. You just lost a wick sticker if you do that. So that's my take on these. So they're good in their own right. Now my next tool that I have here is my centering tool, and I got this from Candle Science. They do have another one, which is, it has two. It does the double wicking. I did not purchase that one because that was very expensive, so I did not want to get that. So I just got this, and then when I do, I don't know, whenever I want to upgrade, this works fine for now. Whenever I want to upgrade, I'll just go ahead and get the double one. But I don't have my container that I don't even double wick, I triple wick. Is not big enough for that, so that's why I didn't buy it. But this one is very convenient because this one is exactly the size of my vessels, and all I have to do is just put it in here, put my wick that is already here. So this will be my wick. You just put it in here. This has a magnet that clips, not clips, but you know, attracts to the metal tab of the wick. You put it in there, you get one wick sticker, put it on the bottom of it, and you make sure that this is clean. This is not clean right now, but make sure that it's clean, and you get your wick, your container, center it, make sure that your wick sticker, the sticker part is already out, and then you just press down and it goes ahead and it sticks. And this is very good to use to center all your wicks, and it will center every single one exactly the same. Unless you make a mistake and you move it, then it's not gonna be the fault of the centering tool. It's gonna be user fault. So this game changer, purchase one of these. This is probably like around $40 plus shipping, and you know they are very expensive with their shipping, but this tool is very good. So if you're making a large order from Candle Science, then go ahead and add this to your cart so that you could go ahead and buy that. Now my next tool here is two things. My mixing rod, and I use this for my fragrance oil, and then my mixing spoon, and I use this to mix my my fragrance with my wax. So this is for my wax, and then this one is for my fragrance oils. So I don't know if you can see that, but this right here is my glass rod, and then this one is my spoon, my gold mixing spoon. Oops. Okay, so I think I told you everything that I have in front of me, and also you should always have scissors in front of you, or you know, at hand, because you're gonna need some scissors to cut your wicks, or you could use a wick trimmer, which works better because it has like this curve, and you don't have to try to go in there with the scissors. All you have to do is just do this and then cut, and that's it. And the centering tool and the scissor works fine. So you don't have to if you don't have a wick trimmer, it's fine. You could just go ahead and use a scissor, and it does the exact same job. So if you just want to use either or, that's fine. Now the next thing that I have is these. And then these, I talked about them in my previous video. You didn't see that, but these will be my my wicks. It's not the centering, but it holds it in place. So it holds my wick in place after I added my wax to my vessels. So I have chopsticks. If you are going to use chopsticks, make sure that the chopsticks have the actual tabs attached and they are still there, because then it doesn't make any sense to have this. But this will be very good for large containers, and then it holds your wick in place just like this. And you'll have your bow tie wick holder, and this one has 3 holes. So if you do have a vessel that you want to use 3 holes with, this will be very good. But I have not used the 3 of these because my containers doesn't necessarily need 3, and then this is pretty small for a container to use 3. I mean, 2 will be fine, but 3, this is pretty small. Anyways, I mean, if you use this and you use it with 3 wicks, let me know if this works for you. But I don't think that the placement in here for 3 is beneficial. 2 is fine, 1 is good, but 3, I don't know. But that I use this as well, and I use the cotter pins, and I like the cotter pins because they have a tighter grip to hold the wicks. And this cotter pin I got from Amazon. I got this from Pro Candle Supply, and then I got this from Amazon as well. And I use this one and this one for my smaller vessels, and then when I want to use a bigger one, I use the chopsticks. And the next thing is funnels. Funnels I use it sparingly. I don't really use this as much. When I was making soaps, I would use funnels more. The only time I used these was if I was going to put my mixed fragrance oils into a container in which I would use this. I mostly use it for my diffusers because the diffusers have a very small opening, and so I'll just use one of my funnels to put it, to make my job easier, to just pour in the liquid into the diffuser bottle. And also for my home sprays, I will use this for my home spray. But for candle making, not really. I don't even know where I put it, where I came out with it, but I guess because it was around. But yeah, I use this too. Now another good thing to have, and I use these two additives when I had soy wax. I had the Vibar 103, and these are for tarts and melts or melts. So if you are using soy and you want your fragrance to be a little more pronounced, then Vibar 103 will be very good for tarts. And if you also have soy wax and you want to have a stronger throw, cold or hot throw, then Vibar 260 will be that for you. But this is only for soy wax, not soy wax. This is only for wax containers. So if you're going to use containers, then use this one. If you're going to use melt, then use the 103 Vibar. So 260 for candles and then 103 for wax tarts. And this I used to use with my soy wax. And this is fairly new. I got this from from Nature's Garden. I got this from Nature's Garden, and it comes in a pound. These are little pellets that you just add a few at a time into your wax while it's melting. And I think it's 0.5 ounces, not even that much, to be honest, when you use this in your waxes. I didn't really see a big difference. I just read about it and I researched because I was trying to make soy wax work for me, and I researched what to add to soy wax to make it smell stronger. And then I came across an article that says adding Vibar, which is an additive, to your candle to make it smell a lot stronger. But it really didn't do that much, so that's why I don't use this. And that I have two of these left, and one is for the tarts and the other one is for the candles. But I don't really use this. But if you are using soy and you want, you know, to give it a little bit of a different to try out, and maybe it works for you, because I was just using 0.5 ounces, maybe added more. I never added more. I just got fed up with using soy, so I just said forget it, I'm not gonna use soy, and that's why I still have those. Now the other good thing to have while you're for your equipment in your arsenal will be a heat gun. And this bad boy here is very good when you are making your candles and you want to level up the tops of your candles, or if there is some sort of imperfection on your candles, such as the tops are not level or the sides of your candles are not adhering to the sides of the jar, then this would help in melting down the candle wax. And then once it cools off again, it'll just adhere to the sides of the container, or it'll level off if you are doing just the top. But just make sure that when you're doing it on low, and you are at a distance from the actual jar, because then your wax is gonna go everywhere if you don't do it correctly, and then you will have spillage everywhere. And I know this because it happened to me. So try not to do that. And I realized too that even though you have perfect glass adhesion initially with your waxes, once the temperature in your environment changes, your wax starts to shrink and starts to separate from the sides of the container. So before you even sell it, you should make sure that you look at your candle, make sure that it's 100% what you want to sell to and give to that customer. And if it's not, then you could go ahead and use the heat gun just a little bit on top, and then or on the side, and then wait until it warms up and cools down, and you should see the glass adhesion back to how it used to be, and then you'll see the tops very well and nicely leveled. The next piece of equipment that you should have in your possession when you are making candles is a notebook. And a notebook and a writing utensil, pen, pencil, what have you, you would need this. This should be number one, aside from your candle vessels and your wicks and your wax. Because if you don't have something to write down when you're making your candles, then you will not remember if you added 10% or 6% or 8% of fragrance oil, or which wick worked with what vessel, which wick did you like, which wick did not work for you. So everything should be written down in a handy dandy notebook, because this is how you always will refer back to your notes to make sure that whatever you're doing is correct, and that you can recreate whatever that worked for you, or not recreate whatever did not work for you. So you won't have to do a guess and think and keep wondering about what was it that you put in your 8-ounce vessel. Was it 6 ounces of fragrance oil, or which fragrance oil worked with what wick, or is this fragrance oil work better in 10% or 12%? So it's very good to keep accurate information and logging and data for your candle making business. And this is my second notebook, so I write a lot. And I take that into consideration because I used to teach biology and chemistry, and so my biology and chemistry background led me to always write things down, and my memory is not that good anyway, so I forget a lot of stuff. So writing things down actually works a lot. So make sure that you do have a notebook to write down your findings, to write down anything that you are doing within your candle making process, because it will be beneficial when you want to go back to your notes. And another thing that you should have, and you could use either a calculator or you could use your phone, and that is to use the calculator on your phone or use an actual calculator. I don't have an actual calculator, so I use my phone when I need to do calculations, such as trying to figure out how much wax or how much fragrance oil do I need for my candle jars, or when I mix my fragrance oil inside my container, I want to make sure that I'm using the correct percentage and the correct ounces per pound of wax. So make sure that you know that. Another piece of equipment that you should always have with you is a scale. You can't make candles if you don't have a scale. Well, you could, but it's not going to work, and it's not going to come out right if you don't have a scale, because you need a scale will measure all your fragrances. You need to measure how much wax you're using, and you need a scale to do that. I have two. This is one of them. The other one is in my shop. I didn't want to take that one off because it is very beat up. So that's why I don't have it in front of me, but I do have 2 scales. And also you will need a scale when you start shipping, because you need to make sure that you are weighing all the products inside of the boxes so you can ship it. So you definitely need a scale. And this one is my shipping scale. So that's why it's so nice looking. And the other one that I have that is in the shop is my product that I mix my fragrance oil and I use to weigh my wax. I have that in my shop, and that is kind of like beat up. Now another thing that I forgot to mention earlier when I was mentioning to make sure that you have your surface clean and to cover it up with the brown paper is one of these. And these come inside of the boxes when you get your vessels. Not all of them have it because I don't have it in all my boxes, but most of the Libby, if you have a Libby vessels, they all come with these. And then these are separators because they separate your containers from the other so that they won't get all, you know, they won't get all scratched up or broken in transit. But I use this when I'm actually making candles so that I know which roll is what. So if I'm making a roll of one fragrance here, I'll put all of them here in that fragrance, and then the next roll will be a different fragrance, and then the last roll will be a different fragrance. So I'll have 3 rolls of different fragrances when I'm making candles, and this helps in separating each vessels from the next, so I know which one is which before I put the labels on it, because you don't want to put the labels while you're making the candles. You'll put the labels after, so that if you do make a spill, you could clean out your vessels from the outside. So this is a good way to separate your candle fragrances from the next if you are batching your candles for that week or day or whatever. So this will be a very good tool. Now, if you don't have the brown paper to cover your surface, you could always use the cardboard that comes inside of the boxes that you receive your vessels. This is very good to keep your surface also clean if you don't have brown paper, so you could use that as well, and it stays on it perfectly. And you could also move this if you are going to be moving your vessels from the front of your table to the back, or from the side to the next side, so you don't have to pick them up individually when they already have liquid inside, and you don't want to move it too much because you don't want to disrupt the cooling process when you are making candles. So this right here is a good alternative to using the paper if you don't have the brown paper to cover your surface. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you for watching my video. I hope this was very informational for you, and you learned something about the equipment that you should have in your candle making business. If I missed anything, if you need anything that I didn't mention, it's gonna be kind of hard to pinpoint where I got all the equipment from, because I did purchase them a while ago. I do remember the names of the locations, but I don't have the actual website link for each individual items, but I will mention down in the description box where I got each of the items. So to recap, it's gonna be a lot. No recap. You're gonna have to play the video over. It'll be a lot. This video is already long as it is, so just play the video over to know exactly what I use for each individual equipment that I have and where I purchased them. And don't forget to like, hit the thumbs up, subscribe below, and hit the notification bell. I think it's on this side or that side, whichever side it is, just hit it. And I will see you on the next one. Bye, mi gente bella.